Hi everyone, my name is Bryn Smith, and today we are going to be talking about the Buddhist religious practice known as Vipassana Meditation. And we will go into depth about how the practice itself, as well as how it is able to represent other correlations to the world, people, and even other religions as well. Okay, so the word vipassana translates to clear seeing. So this correlates to the main idea, which is mindfulness and being open. Um, what it is a 10-day silent retreat where you have no phone and you're present with nature and yourself. So you go in like a group and you don't know anybody, but you're just there to seek out mindfulness and get rid of all the distractions in your life to help you become aware of what you're feeling and what you're going through so you can go past those obstacles in your life. So, the origins and history of this practice is it was rooted in ancient India. It was introduced by, sorry if I say this wrong, but Siddhartha Gautama, which was the Buddha at that time, and he taught about gaining enlightenment after being under a Bodhi tree. And nature was a huge aspect. So, as this started out, he really gained the attention to the nature aspect, which was how it correlated to being outside and being able to truly find yourself through nature and just with peace and mindfulness. People have been participating in this practice for quite a while, for over 2,500 years. And one of the main reasons that Vipassana meditation was performed, as it says in one of my sources, in the journal Stress and Health, it states a central objective of Vipassana courses is therefore to develop mindfulness, which refers to metacognitive state of awareness involving bringing one's attention to present moment sensations and experiences in an accepting and non-reactive way. So this is basically just talking about being mindful and allowing you to connect yourself closer to your religious beliefs, nature, even yourself, like your own thoughts and everything. And I think that's pretty cool because it gets you away from all the distractions in your life and in the world. Um, yeah, so a really cool fact is we're gonna get into how it's performed and by whom it's performed by. Um, it's really inclusive. Anybody can do it, even if you're not Buddhist, which I think is really interesting and intriguing. But I also think there's a sweet aspect to it because honestly, a lot of religions are very strict or strict enough to where it's not really inclusive. But I think this is a great um like connective to other people of different religions or even if they're non-believers themselves. So how it's performed is there is a series of exercises to observe your thoughts, feelings, and body sensations. So this is like to truly see how you feel and how you act to certain circumstances. So like there's no judgment whatsoever. Um there are some steps. So, you need to get a quiet space. You need to prepare your body and mind, probably by meditating or just journaling, reflecting, or just even thinking, just to get your body and your mind ready. Practice your breathing, which is very big. Engage in these exercises and do them daily so your body can get a sense of what you need to do and what you have to do during this retreat. Um, Maintain your composure, just be at peace and just relax yourself. Dedicate times. This is really important. I think dedicating times and being patient and consistent could also correlate to like going to the gym. So like you can correlate your everyday life into something religious and it can be such a big benefit that comes from it. And I think that's honestly so cool. So now we're going to be getting into the symbolic meaning and the beliefs that are associated with it. So the ability to provide insight into the true nature of reality and really seeing things clearly. And this kind of helps with like your journey of self-discovery because you might not know that you like something or you might learn something way deeper than you thought you were going to. So I think this is really interesting because you can go to surface level or you can go like to the way deeper level. And it's honestly, it's inclusive. So anybody can do it. Anybody can get that deep. Anybody can do anything they want to, however comfortable they are. And I think that's honestly very I think it's very cool and sweet of this meditation practice. Um, so it's rooted in the teachings of Gautama Buddha and the tradition of Buddhism. So there's three main beliefs: impermanence, which is like the God or Buddhist representation of anicca, the suffering of dukkha, and then the non-self as anatta. So yeah, and then now we're going to get into the testimonies and interpretations from practitioners or just anyone who ever experienced it. So meditation in this source, it talks about like prisoners and their story and how meditation truly helped them. So in this source, it says the course participants were aware that these people had volunteered to serve them, and this had direct impact on them. They perceived the act of volunteering as evidence of true goodness, which in turn stimulated their own inner processes. So, even some of the prisoners who made mistakes or messed up, they were so inspired by this meditation practice and by seeing other people going to voluntarily help them or just being kind. Because even if you do make a mistake and you end up in prison, like that you could see yourself as being like a bad guy, but like seeing other people voluntarily help you and be kind to you, I think that's a really like it's like a switch in your brain where you're like, okay, like maybe I'm not my mistakes and I'm going to grow from them. Another prisoner said, I was surprised that they were volunteers, giving love without speaking. I want to be like them to volunteer in a Vipassana course, which I just think is so beautifully written because some of the prisoners could try to go down deeper holes than where they were at before or get into bigger messes. And I think that this representation truly shows how the embodiment of self discovery and mindfulness can overcome someone, even if they have made really bad mistakes, which I think is honestly amazing. So then there's another, my second example in this will be a video, and I'm going to insert it here. So we'll do that. And then to get into the next thing, how does Vipassana meditation shape religion, belief, and other aspects? So religion is being promoted by a non-religious approach. So being inclusive, the diversity between the religious backgrounds, or anybody, just the sense of anybody doing it is really amazing. And this honestly just encourages the individuals to cultivate a better understanding of their minds and emotions, which is the main goal that this meditation practice has to offer. The belief part, this allows people to support others and while observing their own thoughts and feelings and sensations, not even just on a surface level, but on a deeper level as well. And this is also important, like not judging others and having no reaction, just letting them breathe, relax, find their peace, and it's all good for everyone. It's very beneficial. The next one is your identity. So, understanding yourself genuinely. And you can do this from a personal level, but also from a communal level as well. Because even if you don't know the people, you can still get to know them. Like, you can learn something from them. People can learn something from you. You can still be supportive, even if you're on your own journey, which I think is so beautiful. Like, genuinely, like, that is so sweet. And I think this meditation practice can truly bring people together. Um, and also this allows you to grow your faith as well. Like if you're religious and maybe you're having a hard time in believing, like I think this will really skyrocket your faith and you'll be able to trust whoever you believe in more. So, what does this practice reveal about the religion it comes from? So, the core of Buddhism, main parts, insight and mindfulness. Those are the two main things. And honestly, I think it's very important that people understand that because going on this retreat, it can be hard, it can be frustrating, but at the end of the day, you're still discovering yourself no matter what age, no matter what point you are at in life. So, I think it's very important to grasp that fact. This also represents the framework of the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. So these are the practices of right mindfulness and right concentration. Um, my next source in the journal, International Journal of Psychophysiology, it states mindfulness may also reduce stress and depression and promote well-being and self-kindness through cognitive changes. So this was a study also, but it also correlates to the later findings of improvement. So as people started out, they might be really stressed, depressed, just full of anxiousness, honestly. And 6 months later, after they did the retreat still affected their daily life and still affected their mindfulness and their self discovery 6 months later. So I think that just goes to show how beneficial and impactful this meditation practice is. So, how does engaging in this practice affect a believer's understanding of faith and belief? So, this can be like a light switch. Again, switching from stress to non-stressful, depression to not depressed, anxious to not anxious and calm, um being overwhelmed and being so caught up in your thoughts to being mindful and being able to be like, okay, like I can do this, but like this might be my limit, and just really getting a grasp of yourself, I think is amazing. In what ways does the practice reinforce or challenge common definitions of religion? So, this one is actually very interesting because it emphasizes the importance of direct experience and observation over just having belief and believing in something. And then also, this doesn't require conversion. This doesn't have teachers, so this is all self served and like self discovery based. This is a more accessible path than most like religions where you have to like have a conversion or like do all of these things in order to be able to even be labeled as whatever that religion is. And this is also just a really inclusive way and an easy way to obtain your personal transformation and spiritual awakening. How might this practice contribute to a follower's religious identity or community bonds? So, like I said earlier, it's not just a personal level, it's communal. Like, you are supporting each other as much as you are supporting yourself by making the decision to go on this and not being forced to, which I think is very important to grasp because some people may be forced, but like if you are willingly choosing to do this for the betterment of yourself, like you are truly wanting to change, you are truly wanting to try to either get closer to your god or goddesses or multiple gods or your Buddha, or you're just trying to get closer to whoever you believe in. I just think that's a great first step. And then yeah, so Vipassana meditation to me is very interesting, and I absolutely loved researching all of this and learning about everything. It's such a beautiful act to get to know yourself better, become grounded, and have more peace. Have more peace when you're making decisions, whether that's big or small, important or just everyday decisions. I think it's a very great attribute to have, especially as you're growing up and making decisions in your life. And you can be a part of a great community, and it's inclusive, it's open to everyone, absolutely everyone. There is no like requirements or like, oh, like you can't do it because of this. Like, no, it is open to everyone. And then one of my favorite one of my favorite like characteristics of this is that your faith in your heart will grow significantly. And I just think the world needs more kindness, and I think that this meditation practice is a great way to grow that. But yeah, thank you for listening.